Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Conversations with D. I have my special guest, Dante Pope, vocalist, and he has educator up there too. So I found that out while we were talking. That's awesome. And he was also a music director. So we're going to get started. So I know that your upbringing, well, your background starts in Chicago, Chi-Town, or Chirac, what they say.
Oh,
And
shot town. Don't say that
Midwest.
one. That's great.
So that's the Midwest, of course. And so, how was that growing up in Chicago?
I would say no different than your upbringing in Michigan, man. It was a full immersion into a one iteration of the Black experience, but having family that like many others in the Midwest or even on the East Coast that came up from the South. My grandfather's faction is Mississippi, Alabama. My father's that's my mom's side. On my dad's side, we got like Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas, and so it was just a melting pot of Black culture. Honestly, from my upbringing, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and it was like barbershops, church, school, basketball, but a whole lot of music in there from whatever I would hear at the church on the gospel end to obviously, being in the Midwest, we have hundreds of community choirs, hundreds of gospel recording artists. And so everybody was right there at my fingertips, especially given my family was in ministry. My dad was a pastor. My grandfather was a pastor. So I had a lot of access to music that I guess today would be called old school, but all that stuff gave me the fundamentals to at least be able to get a lot of the opportunities that I've received and managing today.
So, how was that being a PK?
Man, it was a lot of pressure. I'll say for sure, especially being a young man. The Black church is, I would say, Black culture first in some cases, then the Bible. and so and so it's just like just all eyes on you, and in some way you are to be this like epicenter of what it means to be the perfect child, while at the same time trying to figure out who you are. And so I found an escape, to be honest, from that through being creative. The fact that my family actually supported me as a musician, that gave me the space to just be Dante. You know what I'm saying? So if I wasn't singing, I love to dance. I used to footwork.
Oh
But
no, you didn't. See
yeah,
the
come on, man.
Chicago stepping. I already know.
Yeah,
Already know.
footwork, and I know y'all used to jit in Michigan, and
Yes.
so it was like, okay, I can't do this in church. So I started like the mime team. And so I was in that joint, like doing all the stuff I would be doing at parties. It's like, okay, let's do this to like a Hezekiah Walker song. But
Okay.
I always found a way to like get that out within that space. And I'm happy that I learned to do that there. I think that is one thing that the Black church does do, just as many other Black institutions that build our communities,
Mhm.
is that they give young people that confidence. And so being a preacher's kid or not, just being at the church I was at, man, they were just like, hey, you doing something positive. We want to consistently reinforce that. So it was nothing but like just a whole lot of fun, man.
That's amazing. So,
Yeah, yeah.
what denomination was it? Was it Baptist or
Yeah,
Kojic?
it was Baptist. It was Baptist. Now we would have to go to like see the real people. We would have to go to the Kojic church,
Oh,
you know,
you
because
already
it was
know. You
yeah.
already know.
Yeah, I mean they gonna shout all day, but they also had like the baddest musicians. So we would go out south to it was a church called St. James, the late great Elder Willie James Campbell, and his choir. Man, I mean, you would go to that church. I remember Kim Burrell before she was like
Wow.
the international Kim Burrell. She was in Chicago all the time. Just she would come to this church, and we go there. You'd have like Teddy Campbell, who's his son. He's an amazing vocalist. I don't know if you know that song. Can you use someone who's finally
It sounds
giving their
familiar.
all? Teddy is a beast, like
Okay.
crazy. He's a vocal coach to the stars, but that was his son. David
Okay.
Hollister went to this church. You
Oh,
understand what I'm saying?
okay.
So I got familiar with these guys because my father that was like my first teacher. He's a drummer, but he went to school with like David Hollister and R. Kelly and all these guys. So it was like, you know, going to the Kojic church too, those guys actually played with secular artists. So when you went to these, broadcasts, you hearing guys that are playing on the big stage, and it's just like
Mm.
it was a lot of fun. But the Baptist church was good. You know, we were a little more conservative. We get a little shout in.
So you know something about Frankie Knuckles.
Oh yeah,
I'm
man.
about to say because that's where house music started in
Yeah, house
Chicago and then it
music
emerged
forever,
its
man.
way to Detroit and
Yeah,
then all over across the international, well, the
yeah,
world.
man.
Yeah, Frankie Knuckles, rest in peace, Frankie Knuckles.
Yeah,
And
rest
happy
in peace.
birthday, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Wow, too many. What's that one song? It's too many. I want to say "Wanna Be Starting Something."
Uh,
Just leave me alone.
yeah,
My favorite was I'm sorry, actually, In the Closet.
in the closet.
There's something about you, baby.
Yeah, that
The
joint is
song with
nice.
Naomi Campbell, yeah. And then
Yes.
Liberian Girl,
Mm.
on the floor with me. Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Man, Stranger in Moscow.
Yes.
It's just like vocally, I don't know. He just when I listen to it, it's like, dang, I don't know if you really went through this or if you just wrote it, or but man, I felt that joint, man. Stranger in Moscow, Can't Help It is one of my most favorite covers to
Yes.
sing. Blame it on the boogie,
Don't
you
let
know.
the sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, blame it on the good times. Blame it
Yeah.
on the boogie. That joint it just grooves, man. And honestly,
Dancing Machine.
all of the Jackson 5 music too, because I feel like at that point too, like a lot of stuff that I hear artists still reaching for. I don't care what race, culture. If you're doing a genre that is from, I would say, a black created genre of music, there's a certain grit that comes with your voice that when he was younger, man, that cat was going for it. You know what I'm saying? Just like
We could make
aggressive.
you feel it.
Yeah, Philly. He was
Baby.
squalling. He
Yes.
was. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah,
Yes.
all the young Michael stuff was just like, I love it, man.
Ben. Ben was my favorite one. Ben, it was about the rat. Just
Mm-hmm.
the two of us, we look no
Oh
more.
boy. Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you. That was him
Mm-hmm.
and the Jacksons. And people didn't know that. And then
Yep.
all I do is think of you. That was them too.
Mm-hmm.
Troop came and did it after that, and then some other group. I don't remember. But anyway, yes, Michael Jackson, Gary, Indiana. Midwest. That is so interesting how we segued into. I did not plan that.
It's all good, man. Just
It happens, y'all. It just happens.
so much meat in the Midwest, man. We just got so much to
Yes.
give.
Motown.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even gonna. We'll be all day talking about that. So, high school. What was the music like in high school? Did you do a lot with the drumming in high school? Or was
Yeah. I was blessed to get into a conservatory called the Merritt School of Music downtown Chicago.
that's
Um, it's a conservatory you would traditionally have to pay for, but for inner city youth, if you had the talent, you would be able to pretty much test in to actually test out of like having to pay through what they call the tuition free conservatory. And my reading wasn't that strong at that time. I started when I was 9,
Mm.
but it was like I had all the chops and stuff from church. And so the drum instructor was like, I could do something with that. We gonna grow that, but keep that fire. But yeah, in high school, I literally studied percussion. So,
Mm.
marimbas, mallets, timpani, xylophone. I was on the track to go to college to be a classical percussion major. And so in high school, it was very aggressive. I was an honors all state choir. I was an honors all state jazz combo, like one of hundreds of kids as audition that was blessed to represent the state in like a small jazz combo at like the final concerts. And yeah, I was all in. I was acting, dancing, just everything I wanted to do creatively. I was doing all of that in high school, and I definitely missed the stage from that standpoint. Playing the music is fun, but acting was another serious passion of mine that I definitely enjoyed. But at that point, my only focus was just playing drums. I wasn't thinking about singing or writing songs. I just wanted to play a room with a lot of people in it and then play loud. Yeah, so I like transitioned out of the want to play classically though, because I felt like it was real limiting. with a lot of the information I started getting from just my grandfather's records by listening to jazz, funk, and blues. I wanted to try to explore some of that. And so when I turned 15, 16 is when I kind of went down that avenue of just, really studying contemporary styles of drumming. And yeah, it's been going and going ever since, man. Yeah.
So how was it like, I guess like at Fisk? So we talked about Fisk. So you're HBCU alumni and I'm also HBCU Clark Atlanta. So how was that? Because our choir was pretty good too.
Well, we had two choirs. There was the gospel choir, but then there was an ensemble called the Fisk Jubilee Singers.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
yes. Yeah.
pretty heavy group who in 1871 traveled to Europe to sing for Queen Victoria. To actually save the school. That $100,000 that she gave them actually helped erect the first dorm, which is the freshman girls dorm, Jubilee Hall, also known as Frozen Music. So to be in that group, I mean, when I got to Nashville, number one, that their music program was not like a lot of HBCUs. We need to change this, but we need to have contemporary music, minors and majors, because we have Black people out here who have learned all these styles of music, but are returning to gospel and jazz and R&B and soul and winning Grammys, schools. Yeah. Okay. All right. HBCUs, we got to update with the music. But anyway, Fisk did not have like a robust music program, but the choral stuff was like, I'm like, I could get something out of that. Now I ended up majoring in political science. That's awesome. But I auditioned for the Jubilee Singers and was blessed to get in my freshman year. And that was a great experience because, to go to a historically Black college, you're connecting yourself to history. But then to travel the country and represent a history that is not just specific to this school, but to my people in general was life-changing, And I mean, we were playing big stages like the Grand Ole Opry for the Dove Awards, playing the Ryman, to even like off stuff where it's like, somebody saw us. They knew there were some Jubilee singers in town during a break. So Anthony Hamilton and Heather Hadley were on tour like in 2006. And me, my big brother Jeremy, Kelsey, and there's a sister named Moira Conchella, ridiculous vocalist. I've produced some stuff with her. And she works with the Jubilee Singers now. But we did background for Anthony Hamilton for that show at the Ryman, which was crazy because it was like, it's an R&B show and we do that song, Pass Me Over Till the Savior Comes. You know that song? Pass Me Over. It was just crazy how like 50 people got saved at this dude's show. I'm talking about, we just finished Charlene and this dude goes to this song and just started just going in, and people like came up, and I was like, "Wow, this is wow!" I didn't think I would ever see that with these two worlds, but that was special. And his sister's real dope, HBCU grad. She went to FAMU. I don't know if she still. I don't know if she still manages him, but yeah, she was real cool. But those experiences through the Jubilee Singers gave me an idea of what it would be like to also be signed to a label, because at that moment, and they still are. We actually just won a Grammy this year. I don't know if you know that. The Jubilee Singers won a Grammy this year for I don't know if it was best choral folk album. But yeah, they finally got a Grammy, which is historic to Fisk. So I pray that they got some money to grow as well. What up, Priest? And so yeah, man, it's like just being able to be there and develop and learn how to operate as a label or a signed artist. That was pretty heavy. And I would say I didn't like part of the experience, speaking frankly, because while of course, like it took a lot of money, a bag, to get us to come sing somewhere. I felt like, and I loved it because that was like a stipend I would get. And, I had clothes from Back Rack and it was killing. Wow. But it was like, man, I'm an inner city kid from the west side of Chicago where like Dr. King did the literal poor people's campaign. The home he owned is in my neighborhood, North Lawndale, written by redlining. And learning my history changed my freaking life. Like it changed how I look at myself, and it changed how I judged my brothers and treated people in the community. And so I was just like, I wish we could do more of like, we need to be seeing more of us versus doing this corporate stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to jump into potentially being an A&R rep because we were interfacing with those people. And then Brown Sugar just come out, and I wanted to be Tay Diggs. You know what I'm saying? So I had a internship with the Universal Music Group, pretty much pushing singles when CDs were still a thing. And it was I was pushing these singles. You remember Lil Wayne, Fireman, Fire for Fire Cam. Remember that joint, Chilling by Myself? Okay, it was a Lil Wayne joint. It was Lil Wayne's Fireman single. They literally, Universal mailed a box, like a ridiculously sized box with all the CDs and all the promotional materials to my dorm. And then I had to push it in colleges in Nashville. And that's when I kind of started going down to Atlanta just to get some feelers. But it was Lil Wayne's Fireman single. You remember Yummy Bingham? I don't know if you heard of Yummy Bingham.
Yummy is in New York. I know. Yeah, that one. She's bad.
She's killing. Yeah. She did that joint with De La Soul. Much more than they could see, believe me. Yeah. But she had a single out before Luke Stewart was on his own. He was in a group called Luke and Q. So I was pushing their single, and it was all these artists that I got a chance to meet, like Luke Stewart and his bandmate from New Orleans. It was a vocal duo. They came to Fisk, and I was able to kind of see like the work it takes to have a street team. You know, being a poli-sci major, trying to join a specific organization, and being a Jubilee singer, I didn't have the time to be pushing all these CDs. But I had like one of my good friends from New York who was like already promoting. And that he was about that, and it like he was able to go back home and get an internship off that joint. So, but it was a great learning experience for me to see like the depth of what it takes to kind of keep things moving. You know what I'm saying? So, big up to Fisk, big up to Nashville, everybody I met down there. Love y'all. Yeah, man.
So before we get into your song "Regret," because we're gonna play a little snippet of it.
Okay.
So, okay, I have to ask you. So, singing in the chorus, like I was a part of Philharmonic Society.
Yeah.
So I was under the directory of the late Glenn Halsey.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did all kinds of. Do you remember? Of course, I know you remember. What's the song? If I Could Help Somebody. Did y'all do that one?
No, we didn't do that one.
Y'all don't know. If I can help, so I'm not gonna do the note. Bye. Because y'all ain't about to cloud me. Is my living in vain? No. Am I living?
I'm saying I know the song. No, I'm saying I know the song, but we had a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff that we did because John W. Work, who's like a notable choral director. John W. Work actually was a former director of the Jubilee Singers. So a lot of our music came from his arrangements, and then as well, graduate former Jubilee singer, class of 1988, Dr. Paul T. Kwame, who's still the director, was the director then. So we were doing a lot of his arrangements and a lot of stuff by Moses Hogan. I don't know if you remember Moses Hogan. Who passed.
All the time.
Rest in peace, man. That brother. And what I liked about his stuff was that he made me feel like comfortable because I got a chance to perform with him one time. He actually came to Chicago and did like a whole session at a college for high school students. And so we did his arrangements of Trying to Make Heaven My Home. But he added all the stuff that I liked, like the extensions that you get in jazz, the 9s, the 11s, the jazzy chords. He kind of made those older arrangements a touch more modern. And I just loved all the stuff he was doing. So we did Steal Away.
Hear My Prayer. We did that one.
Yeah. Lord, I'm Out Here on Your Word. Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho.
Yes. That was our song right there.
Yeah. My Lord, What a Morning. Yeah.
I was an alto. So a first alto, second soprano. So,
oh man.
Yeah, so that's a mezzo soprano, y'all, for everybody watching. So I was actually a music major, but I ended up being a music minor. Eventually, yeah, that theory just,
Yeah.
yeah, and that ear training, woo, ear training was cool, but yeah, with Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho, like that was my song, and then also I Am Thine, O Lord, we would do
Hmm.
that one, and then
Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord.
Near a blessed
That's the
Lord.
joint. Yeah. To thy
Yeah,
precious. Yeah. That's a good song. Create
consecrate me
me
now
now. Come on
to
now.
thy service by the I'm messing the words up.
It's all good.
Don't come for me, people.
That's a lot. That's a lot prettier now. They sing it at my church.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
I would say that's something I had to unlearn was like that heavy gospel vibrato.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
and
way.
also, yeah, our choir director, Mr. Halsey. I mean, he would always get on us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Somebody not giving enough. Come on.
Yep.
Y'all
Yeah.
just don't want to learn it. And
Yeah.
so
Get that
we
straight
would
tone.
sing, yes. And then the other one was what's the we more love, more love. That was a pretty one too. And then also, I mean, we had so many of them. And then the Jazz Under the Stars,
Mm.
summer, not summer breeze, but autumn leaves.
Ooh
That
wee.
was beautiful. And then Hallelujah, we did that one. That one was beautiful too.
Yeah, y'all doing some modern songs. I mean,
We
literally, the stuff we were
yeah,
doing was like some of the original Negro
we
spirituals.
were
Yeah,
doing them too. And of course, lift every voice and sing.
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
literally, yeah, we were.
we had to do that one. So I was like, okay. And then like I was singing it, and he was like, "No, we're not singing the church version, Deanna. We're gonna sing the." I said, "Ain't it the same?"
No, yeah,
And then when I seen the thing, and then he was like, "Lift every voice and sing." Lift every voice and sing a song. Lift
yeah.
every voice and sing a song.
Was the director that did that? Was he the one of the former directors at Morgan State?
That was Nathan, I think. He was cool with Nathan because
Okay.
he's from Morgan State. I think he was from Morgan State. And
Yep.
then Wade in the Water. I used to love sing Wade in the water. And they was like, no, 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 you can't do it. I was like, why is it?
Put a little bop to it.
When I was, yeah, I got in trouble a lot because I didn't learn my music.
Oh my gosh, man.
Sorry, I didn't. But anyway, no. So we're gonna get into regret. Let's play a little bit of snippet before they. You already know how YouTube does, so we're gonna play a little snippet.
Oh, I got you.
So let's see.
Baby, let my love go. Darling, just let me be. Got me sitting on the fence though. It's your love I still need. Now it's loneliness I gotta face. Cause you put my love to waste. Oh, I remember when I met you. Yeah, let me go. Change my heart. Love you no more. Every time I call you on the phone, another answer singing you ain't home. And change my heart. Oh, please. Baby, you gotta make me free. Unchain my heart. Baby, let my love go. Darling, just let me be. Got me sitting on the fence though. It's your love I still need. Now it's loneliness I gotta face. Cause you put my love to waste. Oh,
Okay, and I had to stop it, y'all. Y'all know why I had to stop it because they like to play. They like to comfort us at YouTube.
Pull us down.
Yeah, because even though people give you permission to play it and all that, they
Yeah.
will still you know, comfort. Yeah. So Okay. How did that come all into place? That song. How did
Man, um, the song came about by, hey, what's up, baby? The song came about by man, so it was like the tune was initially made for a potential show. Yeah, and that's my big brother Kennard Cherry on a guitar for that. So first of all,
Wow.
I wrote and arranged the tune, and then got the help of Kennard Cherry on guitar, a good friend of mine, Noble Jolly on keys, and then brought in a producer, Rainier Hodnett, to kind of play bass and just sonically make sure it sat right. Initially, it was a different song with the same chord progressions and some different words that I wrote for a TV show. And so I had like a licensing opportunity, and this was in COVID. Like I literally wrote this tune last April. And it was a blessing. Like while this song is a heartbreak tune, it was a song that got me out of a funk. My last gig was March 14th. And after that point, it was kind of like this can't be real. Like this is happening. This is like some movie stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of in a fog, like really for a month. I just didn't know how to be. I lost a lot of money. And so it was just like, what's, you know, and so I got hit up by a music supervisor, and it was just like, yo, man, you know, may have an opportunity. I want something in this vibe. Let's see what we could do. They hit me up Thursday with like a Saturday delivery. And so I was just like, all right, man, I got to hit up the cats for this one, because if I get this license, like this will be an introduction to my actual sound. And so I just wanted to really take some time and just develop it. And come to find out, they didn't use it. And so now I have this song, and I'm like, well, I'm not just going to sit on it. I'm going to do something with it. So I end up literally like shooting a music video at Songbird, a record cafe out here in DC. Great venue, great staff. The owners have invested a lot of their time and resources into me, and I really appreciate them. And so the feel for the video, my videographer, photographer, FK White, he loves shooting noir. Black and white is his thing. And so I wanted it to have like a 1960s aesthetic, in that's the style of music I prefer, to be honest, like 1965 to like 1975 of soul music and anything Black people were doing. That's my stuff. But I can't live there and try to reach this newer generation. You know what I'm saying? And so this song was also kind of like a rebirth of my sound. And so I just knew I needed the element of the road. So I played the Rhodes in there. And then all the synth stuff, Noble did that because he can really get in the chords better than I can. And I had to have a guitar in there because that brings the soul about. But everything else about that is electro, trap. You know, I wanted people to be able to bop in their car. You know, I want to be walking down U Street and somebody bumping my song in a Bentley at midnight. You know, I'm just saying it's local. I want to see it. That's what I'm saying. I want to see and hear it. I want to be in LA and somebody like out in Malibu, like bumping my joint at the beach, you know. So that's how the song came about. You know, I really I didn't have a love story that I was referencing. It wasn't from a personal experience. In a way, I was kind of talking to myself though with the chorus, like, baby, let my love go. Darling, just let me be. You had me sitting on the fence though, because your love I still need. And it was kind of like at that time when I wrote the tune, I just wanted to completely be done with music because, you know, while I love it, it's obviously an industry that requires so much that COVID limits. And it's like right now, yes, you know, like actually performing is how you sell records. When you do a live show,
right now.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of can right now. I'm not going to do too much with a newborn at home and a family. Aww. So, you know, I have to play it smart, and that's my choice. Other people, gotcha. they rock a little different. Or at least it would have to be worth it. And those opportunities, they come, but it's like it's only so much, because if what I've noticed, everything that I've done in COVID that's musically related that pays very well, they like really time that out. So it's like everybody gets tested, everybody, the organization pays for it. You have to get another test upon arrival. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's different. But I'm not just going to be out here bopping at bars.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like playing for
feel
like
you.
3 hours with no mask, taking
Yeah.
deep breaths like that. That's dead at this point for me.
I
So
feel
so yeah, it was like a situation where I kind of like fell out of love with music just because it was like, man, you know, beyond the art and the craft, you know, what can I do now? And this song kind of helped revitalize that, and also drove me into some of the kids programs. As I mentioned, I'm an educator,
awesome.
and to really get some things going like that project that you just had at the top, High Yella, was inspired after this song. High Yella is a group that I made up from the 1970s. It's a 3 men group. It's all my voice, but it's the music that I like to hear. So, you know,
That's cool.
I have a song on there called Let the Rain Fall Down on Me. And it's like, you know, more of the style where you have the crooner that has the I never knew. Like that old school style. So High Yellow, and that's all my production. I played bass, drums, keys, and sang all those parts. That project came out of COVID. And that was really for me just to be creative and let stuff out. I'm not the kind of artist to make something and sit on it for years until I got the right plan. You know, I believe everything I put out is something I'm inspired by, and the people that it reaches, that's who I care about. This one right here that you have up, Where Is Your Mask, is what that acronym is for. I have a serious affinity for life. And so I was blessed to partner with Beyond Music, a member of the Crossroads, who's the group with Raheem Devon that I played for, Wes Felton. He shot a music video for me, partnered with Ben's Next Door to support mask wearing. And so that song is like a 1 minute jingle on just the importance of wearing a mask. And it's funny, I dropped the video, and then a week later, the mask mandate is lifted. So it's like, but now it's back again. So like it's relevant again.
I know. Those people just won't wear their darn mask. Man.
At all, man. At all. So yeah, just my whole process has kind of been like an ebb and flow of being between the stage and the classroom. So there's a children's program I started called Madison Plays Music that I did for about a month and a half. It has its own YouTube page. I have about 5 episodes up there, all shot on my iPhone, edited on my iPhone, all original music. But it was really a project for me to support my community. You know, I have a lot of young ones in my family. At the time that I started this, we weren't even pregnant yet. And so it was like, I just wanted to support my family because people need content. What's up, Kay Allen? It's good to see you, bro. And so I took it upon myself to say, hey, I taught pre-K to 8th grade. I have a lot of lesson concepts that I could break down and just kind of make some small vignettes for these families to be able to tap into. And so that was a blessing, just to kind of be out within the community. I was supposed to have a drumming class that was going to happen with the Strathmore. I did my artist in residency with them in 2019. And my education programs were supposed to service some youth for a percussion program. And that couldn't happen due to COVID, but I was able to transition to filming that, which kind of put me on a path to just providing content to performing arts institutions for the sake of education. And that became a space for me to actually gain and earn some income as an artist, because I definitely was trying to figure out how to be last year, given what I do requires people and talking and you know, interacting. So yeah, because doing virtual shows, it's not bad, but it's
the feeling is not there.
It's not,
vibe,
man.
It's not. I definitely get it.
It's not.
I went
man.
to a lot of you know, virtual shows or whatnot, and you know, definitely it wasn't the same. It just wasn't.
No, I will say what COVID did provide though were different opportunities to collaborate in other ways. Like there was a cat, Kenny Allen, who just commented on there. He's an amazing vocalist, guitarist, producer, who has been killing it for decades, I must say. And he took his talents from the East Coast all the way to Ethiopia. And he's been out there, I believe, since 2007. Correct me if I'm wrong, big brother. But he has a clothing line called Unkrin.
Okay.
Great bags, black owned, with some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bags and accessories. So be sure to check him out. Kenny, if you're still on here, go ahead and throw it in the chat. But we started collaborating in COVID. I was literally just sending him beats. You know, I would do a live drum session, making up a concept in my mind, and then he took those beats and produced whole songs out of them. And then fast forward, you know, he was back in the States maybe 2 weeks ago. So we were able to actually go into the studio and lay some stuff down. But in COVID, I found other ways to collaborate with people and also grew my skill set. I was not all this stuff that we're doing now, the lights that I have set up, running my own sound, using an audio interface and mixing and doing all this stuff live. I grew in that way within this past year. And so I do appreciate, you know, having the opportunity to be challenged to see like how I can still create and make it happen. So I appreciate you for having this platform, man, just so I can have another opportunity to be heard.
You're welcome.
For sure, man.
So in terms of after COVID, whenever that happens, but where do you see yourself with that going with the music?
Oh, the same. There it is. Unkin. Thank you, Kenny. My trajectory will not change. First big tour I toured with a guy named Dom Flemings. He's a Grammy Award winning folk artist and historian and all that. And he just had some solid people on the tour. And I just remember talking to him and another brother, and they were like, you know, this industry could take you in many places, good or bad. And so you need to walk in here as an individual knowing what it is you want from it, because if you don't, you're going to be going all over the place. And so I knew for me, since I've been in education since before going into music full time, that I always wanted to have my foot in there. Because being on the road, playing with the good artists and doing all that, I've kind of done that. And what I realize is the truth. When you experience it, yeah, you make good money, but it's only going to be for that like 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? And then all that's going to go toward bills. And then you're going to have to make more. And so no matter who you're with, unless you're the head honcho, you're going to have some staples of your own just as an individual, as an artist. And I chose to plant mine in education and still somewhat within the policy realm since I came here to work for my member of Congress in 2007. And so where I see myself after COVID is still participating in those things, but more so as like, oh, that's Dante's business doing that service versus that's Dante at the White House. It's like, oh no, that's On the One Productions. Dante did that for the inaugural party. You know, Dante, that's his brick and mortar education school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm looking to do. But I just feel like I'm already doing it. I'm teaching kids. I'm performing when I'm able to. I'm creating in many different ways, and I'm just going to continue doing that. You know, I do pray that, you know, in this journey of acquiring things, you know, I'm just able to reach as many people as possible beyond the message of like, hey, listen to me. I just want people to see that what they believe they can do is possible. Because I left a job, I literally took my pension in 2012 and was just like, I'm just going to try this out.
Aww.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, was it immediately successful on a social level? Yeah. Cause like, you know, I knew some of the right people and I was able to make some moves, but when 2013 hit, I'm talking like, man, I was broke. And my talent, my work, my drive had to bring in whatever money, however I got it, to build to where I am now. But literally, I was not the guy people were calling for drums. There are too many drummers here. I was not getting those calls. I was not getting calls to really do much of, honestly, outside of do background vocals. People were calling me to meet people because I was like the Congressional Black Associate's social chair. So I was like, the way I got into the scene in DC was by booking bands for congressional events. You know what I'm saying? But it's just been interesting. Like, you know, me taking that chance on myself, it sucked. I couldn't pay my bills for, I'm talking about a minute. And it was a struggle, but I'm just happy I like chose anchors that weren't what they would call sinking sand. If we're gonna take it back to the Kojic or the Baptist Church, and I think if you root yourself in, you know, the turn up side of this, that's all you're gonna get, and that's gonna wear you out real fast. And so if you don't learn how to get those relationships, get people around you that challenge you and that create in ways that you've never imagined to inspire you, you can really fall, and that's in any industry and in anything you choose to do in life. So for me, I just want to show people that whatever this thing you're trying to hold yourself back from is possible. Like,
Amen.
I'm not going to compare myself to Jay-Z or any of these guys, because that's not my name. I wasn't born with their mission. But what I will say is I'm already doing everything I imagined. So at this point, it's just like, I just got to keep doing that. And then whatever else to be elevated in whatever way would come from it. But I'm just recently getting to the point of like, you just got to keep doing it, dog. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I hope for all the listeners, everybody here though, man. Like, you know, and prayerfully what you want to do is a benefit to the community. but I hope everybody here listening, everyone that sees this, everyone that ever watches this show, just sees even through what you're doing, my sister, that it's possible, man. It's possible, y'all.
Amen.
For real.
Awesome. And you're gonna make it. You're gonna continue to do well, and that's amazing. I'm showing like some of the tiny, the NPR tiny. I'm showing like all types of NPR desks.
Yeah.
I'm showing some of the visuals and whatnot.
Yeah, that was a great time, man. We did that in 2000 and that was 2017.
Is it here? The NPR?
Yeah, it's off of
it's off Capitol.
North Capitol, man. That was a great time. I think that was the most stressful 15 minutes of my whole life.
Really? Why?
Yeah, that's all you get. One time.
Why was it stressful?
That's it. Because unlike doing a show in front of millions of people one time, you're doing a show that millions of people are going to watch over and over and over and over again. Okay. With, you know, and so that's not something to play with, man. And literally you only get, it's a very tight window. To every musician that played on there, B-Boy Soul, Jay Hill, Michael Robinson, Zach Cutler, Jarrell, and then of course Wes and Raheem. Thank you all so much. That show was special to me too, because in our shows typically we played the record with like some moments in between where we could kind of like do some nuances. And for that show, that was, I would say, probably the one time where as a band, we were able to really like rearrange the music we've been playing for like, because we started touring Raheem in 2015 with those days. First show was back home in Chicago, actually at the Promontory. But it was like, that was our first time as a group saying, all right, guys, let's take this intro and do this and change this and all. And then you got to play within a certain dynamic the whole time because the space is so little. And so it was just cool to like bring that vibe that we've had on stage and that joy and just rock that room, man. It was such a special moment, man.
Yeah, because oh my God, Raheem is something else. Like, I missed his concert. What was it? I had tickets for it. I ended up not going. I was late. It was, oh my God, I was so mad. It was at the winery, and so I was out with my friend. We was at Hook and Reel. You know how it goes down to Hook and Reel.
Oh, yeah.
They were playing some music, and the twerking started happening.
Oh, okay, y'all were getting it in.
I wasn't twerking, but some of the other people were.
About to say, you could definitely twerk at a Raheem show if that's what y'all wanted to do.
So that was, I missed it, but I will look. He's on. Actually, he has 3 shows. I think, or is that no?
Well, I was playing for the Crossroads. Raheem Devon has his own as a solo artist. He has a whole nother band, but I was with the Crossroads specifically with he and Wes Felton. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, his voice is phenomenal. So. Yes.
Yep, and a hard worker too, man. Got worked very hard. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. I ask everybody, just the whole top female and male vocals. Who would
Okay.
that be for you of all time? Your top female male vocals.
So I'm gonna have to give you a couple for female.
Okay.
Um, man, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to go with I forgot Demita's last name. But she's actually from Chicago.
Okay.
A sister from Union Hill, man. I wish she would have cracked. But this is somebody like if you watch you from Chicago, you know who Demita is. She was a beast. That's one. Aretha Franklin's another one.
Yes.
And yes, D, if you watching this, that's how bad you are to me.
Okay.
Another one is Liz Wright.
Okay.
You hip to Liz Wright?
I've heard of her before.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta get you some stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Liz Wright, Nancy Wilson.
Yes. Rest in peace.
Yeah, for sure. Nancy Wilson. Kim Burrell for me, and my mom. I know that's like 6.
No, you can name how many you want.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in any, or it could be in any order. So
yeah. And then for guys, man, Sam Cooke.
Yes, that's the first time I ever heard anybody name him. Thank God.
I mean, we wouldn't have soul music.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke, man. There's another Dante, a cat from Chicago. His name is Dante Hall.
Okay.
Ridiculous. Check out his restaurant if you're out there. Donnie's. It's out on the south side.
Is it soul food?
Yeah, for sure, soul food.
Okay. Chicken.
Everything, man. Daryl Coley.
Okay.
Donnie McClurkin.
Okay.
Carl Thomas. Dave Hollister.
Love at first sight. I met him. Actually. It was so funny.
Yeah,
he's him. I was like,
very charismatic.
I was like, it was love at first sight.
He's like, what are you doing?
No, he was like, oh my God, he was happy because it was during a Grammy party.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the songwriters, Michael, what's his name? Brian Michael, the one who did Usher's dun, 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 dun,
I got you.
Dun, 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 Brian Michael Cox, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was DJing, and I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Carl Thompson.
Yeah, Carl Thomas, and he's from Illinois too. He actually he used to sing at a church in Rockford, Illinois, that I used to go to. That's actually the first place I saw Kim Burrell. He was rocking with her back in the day.
He's from Chicago.
I don't know if he's from Chicago. I saw him at Rockford, Illinois, which is it's like a suburb, but it's like a satellite version of the city.
Okay.
But I don't. He may be, but I just know he was in the state of Illinois when I was growing up before the records. Man, Glenn Lewis.
Hold on. And don't you forget.
Yeah, Glenn Lewis, man. Tank.
Canada, Glenn Lewis.
Yeah, that's a bad dude. Tank.
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Yes.
Shouldn't I realize?
Yeah. Eric Benet.
Yes.
I know people trip on him, but that dude could sing his butt off, man.
He can sing.
Yeah, and that's it, man. It's interesting. I go in and out because I'm a
great list. That's a good list. Like, I mean, I haven't heard anybody. I was waiting for somebody to name those people. Like, come on, man, I know y'all can name those people.
Yeah,
personal choices. I ain't mad at you.
And then I'm being on the other side. It's like Paul Robeson.
Okay.
I loved his voice. Pavarotti's great.
Yeah.
There's another cat I listen to heavy. Nat King Cole's another one. Ray Charles, I like his early stuff. If people could dig into like his album Ray Charles, which is like his debut album, where he's kind of doing more of like jazz standards and stuff. That's a bad dude, man. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't even know it was him singing.
Georgia on My Mind, that definitely had.
Yeah, I'm saying even before that, like just check out his my man. If Ray Charles would have just said I'm gonna be a jazz musician, he would have smashed at that too. I swear. Sammy Davis Jr. is another one. He's an amazing
Yes.
vocalist. I love his phrasing and the way he really like the way he just like phonates all his stuff. His diction is dope. And
I
yeah,
love
I can keep going. But yeah, for the most part though, I listen to horns and keys and piano more for inspiration than the voice, because while the voice could do a lot, I feel like instruments have even more possibility. And so, Miles Davis is somebody I really lean on.
Yes.
There's a guy, a guy I like listening to just to like say F it. His cat named Hermeto Pascual. He's from like a god in like the Afro-Brazilian world to the world, man. He's an amazing artist, but he's just so creative. It's like he gets so full of the music that literally it could be a song and he may just be like, "Ow!" And that's just gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? But I just love how he doesn't care, man. While caring. It's just he just presents his art.
What about Dean Martin? Like, I loved his voice. Like,
yeah, Dean Martin was cool.
Yes. The whole Rat Pack.
Yeah, I definitely would say I prefer Frank Sinatra over Dean.
Yes, I love him. My favorite song by Frank Sinatra is "Someday When the World Is." I'm messing up. Just thinking of you
and the way you look tonight.
Tonight. Oh, you're lovely. Yeah.
His voice just it sounded so good with the big band. I forgot to say Janelle Monáe.
Yes.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe, man. I had the pleasure of seeing her my freshman year. Terrence, I forgot his last name. Morehouse, Jazz Specs. I don't know if they were
Jazz Specs. I've heard. Yeah. Okay.
So Jazz Specs was in Nashville in 05. And Terrence, who was a keyboard player, I don't know if he's her music director, but I know he still plays with her because they just using like AUC cats for a lot of that stuff. And Jazz Specs came to Nashville and they had this beautiful woman with them who just
Janelle Monáe.
Oh, it was Janelle, man.
I like her one song when she played with the band. I can't believe all of the things they say about me.
Yeah.
Walk in the room, they talking shade left to right. They throwing shade left to right. It's called Queen. Yeah. And she did it with Erykah Badu. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but I like her voice with like, I don't know if you've heard any of the orchestral work she's done with like symphony orchestras. Because her voice is a lot. She has a lot more character to it than you could put in records sometimes.
No,
and so yeah, like Janelle's, she has so many different textures to her voice. So when Jazz Specs came, she's doing a song called My First Love, and the melody is beautiful, but she's just so smooth on it. Love comes and goes for many people, but you. Been here for some time, and I realize who you are, my truest love. Like when I tell you, and I'm saying this was a jazz band playing though. So when I heard her sing, I'm like, who is this lady? And then I didn't see her again, and it's like, oh, she's famous, But Janelle has such an amazing, incredible voice.
Yeah.
Brittany Bosco is another one.
Okay.
Brittany Bosco, she's from Atlanta. I met her at the Black Cat. I was doing a show at the Black Cat with the rock band. I was in Red Line Graffiti, and we opened for her. She was on tour. But she's a beast. She has she went to SCAD. So beyond being like a vocalist and producer, she's like a ridiculous creative director. So she has a shop. I think it's called Sluggo. They're based in LA, but I mean they do like from major productions to some everything else, man. She's a beast too. Laura Talese is another one, man. Ridiculous vocalist from Cleveland.
Okay.
But Laura is I heard her for the first time. Is it Laura Talese? Or yes, Lauren Talese. I'm sorry. On the Capitol Jazz Cruise. I did that a couple of years ago, and that's a bad woman right there, man.
That's awesome.
She's killing.
So I know you know about the Williams or the Will. Did I pronounce it right? Kirk William. One of them plays for Bruno. So
Kirk
they went to
Whalum.
the house. William. I said it. Is it William?
Whalum. Yeah,
Whalum.
I know about the Whalums. Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah,
the oldest is a good friend of mine. More
Cortland.
so the family. Huh?
Cortland is no, he's not the oldest. He's
No,
the
that's
second, right?
yeah. Kenneth is the oldest. He and
Kenneth.
my brother are they were partners in that organization I was talking about. They on the same line of Kappa Alpha Psi Phi Nu Pi
Okay.
chapter.
We
So
talking Greek now.
so,
Okay.
so that's how I met Kenneth when I was in high school, and that dude, it was crazy because then it was like right after he did Rock Boys, because that's him on saxophone. I think that was like right after he left Morehouse to go to the new school in New York that he like started touring with Diddy and got with Jay-Z and all them, and like was all in the mix, man. But yeah, that whole family is very talented.
Yes.
Very talented. Yep.
Yes.
Very talented, man.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, HBCU, I don't know, we just groom a lot of greatness. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot of great things at HBCUs. Like our professors just put so much love into us, like nurturing, and they just always, it's tough love too, because some of the professors, they're gonna have to tell you, like, look, you know what, you should not be wearing that to class. One time I had a professor that told people don't be wearing stuff to class. It was hilarious too. Like, wow.
Well, yeah, some people were wilding out though. Like I was the only black student in a couple of the schools I attended, and for the most part was a limited group. And so HBCU was my first experience at an all black anything educationally outside of church. So yeah, that was a little different to me. Like, seeing cats wearing like SpongeBob pajamas to class.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
And I guess it was funnier. And I got it. I was on SGA and stuff. And for me, the issue was like giving tours. And my thing to students is like, man, it's cool that you're away from home, you can express yourself, but you never know who's going to be on this campus.
True.
You just think like, okay, Vernon Jordan's on campus today, coming to holler at all the business majors, and y'all walking around looking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just not today. We had people that would come like, I'm a golden fist guy. When my convocation, W.B. Du Bois was the keynote, baby. So I doubt they want to come back to their school and see that, But I definitely didn't want to be how they were. I mean, all the women had to wear like white gloves back in the day. Y'all had to wear stockings to class. So I know that we don't want that.
No stockings. I'm sorry. I was, and also Monique would have got us because we had people came with bonnets on. Yes, they did. I remember. Now I remember a couple of times, and Mama, yes, I did. I had on some pajamas. I had some pajama pants and some flip flops. I sure did because it was early, but I still graduated magna cum laude. So
I got you. Yeah,
that's all that matters. But yes, college that was some good times, and you could get away with it. But like you said, you never knew who was going to be on campus.
Nope.
I mean, one time I walked by E40 on my way to Park Street. That's where the music department was at. And they were filming a video. It was E40 and Lloyd Banks. And I was just like, wow, I'm standing by E40 and Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, that's
wow.
I had all that down at the AUC. Yeah.
That's the great thing about HBCUs. Like, you just never know. And then, I mean, you meet a lot of great people from all over that become some of your best friends. And I mean, I met a lot of good people that I'm still cool with from all over. And so, thank you for HBCUs. And a lot of people wouldn't have gotten that or had that experience outside of where they were from. So,
yep.
So I said I was not going to keep you that long because you ain't going to get mad at me. So,
no, I'm not mad at all, man. It's
I know you ain't going to look. You ain't going to tell. So, thank you to Maisha.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. And we can find you at Because
Dante
I'm
Pope.
adding it up right now. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Dante Pope all over, man.
yeah.
You can find me September 18th. I will be back at Jazz and Parks. It's a beautiful
Ooh.
a live event they've been doing. Jazz and Parks is now on the old Walter Reed campus off George Avenue or 16th. I produced a children's musical with a neuroscientist
Okay.
called Finding Rhythm, and her research for the past 21 years has been on music and neurology and the synergies between them, specifically within rhythm for this project. And so we recorded an EP. It was supposed to be a musical, but due to COVID, we had to pivot. But we just released a new single called Soul Beat Connection that you can find on all streaming platforms. And we will be presenting more from that project on September 18th at Jazz and Parks. It is free. So if you got a seat,
What time is
uh,
it?
I believe we start up at 5:30 is when the downbeat is for the opening group, and the headliner is the incomparable vocalist Miss Rochelle Rice, who will be there
Okay.
with her group. But this was a lot of fun, and I was able to pull a lot of different people in from the jazz community, folks in from I would say more of the African diasporic,
Mhm.
like specific to Africa styles. My brother Wasu Gure from Senegal, Amadou Kouyaté, and Mongezi Nakata, who's from South
Mhm.
Africa, and was just able to kind of bring people I've worked with at different times in my life into one project to make something great, man. So feel free to come out on September 18th. I'll be
That's
promoting
next
that.
door to me.
Huh?
That's next door to me.
Yeah, come outside,
So
man.
I can't.
Come on
Don't be
outside.
trying. Don't be trying to stalk me, y'all.
Yeah, come on outside, and then and it's I can say it now because we're
Yeah.
pretty much at the final stages, but I'll be partnering with the downtown DC bid, providing a percussion program for youth or school age kids on every second Tuesday of the month, starting at the end of September, but then the residency will be like October through November. And so feel free to come out. That'll be free as well. It's going to be a bucket jam, and we will be exploring the rhythms that create the sound that is go-go. So those are rhythms that come from West Africa, the Caribbean,
Mm.
Latin America, as well as America, as all of those sounds are part of Mother Africa. So we'll be exploring that. And I got some new music coming, a new project coming with Kenny Allen, a project working with a brother named Noah Pierre,
Okay.
a brother named Kokai, one of my mentors, is doing some good things. And it's that season too, man, where we got a lot of stuff going
Mhm.
on, and so I'm looking forward to just a whole new everything. But feel free to check out my website www.dantepope.com. Check out my social media on Instagram in particular. It's a little easier to communicate there, but I'm on Facebook too. And thank y'all for listening.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and this was awesome. And I will definitely check out on September 18th because that. What day is that?
That's a Saturday. It's probably
Oh
like
yes,
the
I don't
third
have no.
Saturday.
I don't have no excuse not to be there. Let me see, because I might have a show on that, but no, like it's right across the street.
Yeah, come on out, man.
Because they building that Whole Foods.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, them
About to
high
flip.
price condos.
Yeah, flip that whole neighborhood. That's another conversation.
Gentrification. Yeah, so no, definitely check that out. And so on the first, everybody, I have Keith Andrew, contemporary jazz and funk guitarist, as my special guest. So y'all make sure y'all tune in at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific time for the Pacific time people. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. And this was awesome. And wow, it's interesting how HBCU, we just be everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in. And y'all have a great night. Thank you.